destroyed, and would never come back. This map of the Middle East shows the human cost of the preceding 50 days of war. Over 4,000 people had already been killed, with the death toll reaching 2,000 in Iran and 2,100 in Lebanon. Intentionally targeting civilian infrastructure is prohibited under international law. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres issued a warning to Washington, while embassies across the region began ordering their citizens to evacuate immediately. This was a moment where traditional diplomatic guardrails were bypassed by a single social media post. With the clock ticking, the international community was forced to react to a threat that left no room for conventional negotiation. This satellite image shows Iran's Bushehr nuclear plant. 4 bombs near this dome. Because it sits on the coast, a hit would leak radioactive material into the Gulf. Qatar's prime minister warned this would leave the region without usable water or fish. In Washington, official claims suggested that the U.S. had secured total air dominance over Iran. But on April 3rd, that narrative was tested when Iran shot down an American F-15E Strike Eagle. 1 airman survived the ejection and hiked to an altitude of 7,000 feet, hiding in a mountain crack. While the CIA ran a deception campaign to suggest the pilot had already been rescued, hundreds of Delta Force and Navy SEAL Team 6 members entered Iran to find him. They recovered the airman, but the mission came with a high material cost. 1 A-10 Warhog crashed, 2 Black Hawk helicopters were hit, and 2 transport aircraft were damaged so severely that they had to be destroyed on Iranian soil. The rescue showed that even with overwhelming technology, the military could not prevent hardware losses or control the ground chaos once an aircraft was down. Then, with only 90 minutes left before the U.S. deadline expired, Pakistan leveraged a direct channel between Army Chief Asim Munir and Donald Trump to broker a sudden 2-week ceasefire. But the stability lasted only hours. On April 8th, Israel launched over 100 strikes, killing more than 300 people in the deadliest single bombing campaign of the conflict. Pakistan's official ceasefire parameters included Lebanon, but U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance stated that America had never explicitly promised to include Lebanese territory in the deal with Iran. This confusion led to the collapse of the permanent peace talks in Islamabad. Negotiators reached an impasse over nuclear power. The U.S. demanded a 20-year suspension of activity, while Iran was only willing to agree to 5. This dynamic highlights the difficulty of modern peacemaking. An agreement between 2 major powers can be rendered ineffective if regional allies continue to pursue their own military objectives. The U.S. Navy began a total blockade of Iranian ports, creating a double blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, stopping all shipping, including Chinese vessels. Trapped in this narrow passage, 2 Indian merchant ships were fired upon by Iranian gunboats, forcing their retreat. One of those ships was a supertanker carrying 2 million barrels of Iraqi oil. Because the strait is a geographic bottleneck, there was no alternative route for the cargo to take. India was forced to summon the Iranian ambassador, while simultaneously negotiating with Washington for just to maintain its supply of Russian oil through May. The current 2-week ceasefire ends on April 22nd. Without a breakthrough in negotiations, the region faces the immediate prospect of the escalating back into open conflict. Even if Washington and Tehran reach a compromise, it remains unclear if Israel will accept any deal that allows Iran to maintain its current nuclear infrastructure. The 2026 crisis shows that a naval standoff in a single strait can quickly dictate the energy security of nations thousands of miles away. In a world of interconnected supply chains, a local blockade forces neutral bystanders to negotiate for their own economic survival.